Yo, what is going on, you guys? It's your boy King Sanders here. We are back with another day of sports betting. This is going to be for Monday, November 14th slate of NBA action, man. I'm super excited to dive into it. So we do actually have a 7-game slate on today. Kind of that perfect medium. Definitely not a full slate, but definitely nothing too small either. So we do have a very good slate on. Couple really good matchups. We'll actually be putting in a play for one of those as well. So I'm super excited to dive into it. But before we did just want to go ahead and say we are still currently on the road to 9,000 subscribers. So if you guys are new, make sure that you guys do like, comment, subscribe, turn on that notification bell so you guys know whenever I post. And if I have been helping you guys win some money, because we have been red hot here recently, make sure you guys are subbed. It definitely only takes a couple seconds, but it really does mean a lot to me. But anyway, just a quick shout out here to all of our members here on the channel as well. Thank you guys so much for everything that you guys do. And thank you guys so much for giving such a small channel such a big chance, as I always say. It truly does mean the absolute world to me. So much more than you guys will ever know. So, without any further ado, let's go ahead and do a quick recap as of yesterday. We ended up going 2-1 on our plays. The one that I didn't end up hitting on was the added play that we had. Very tough. We'll talk about it though. First, for our kill shot, we did have the Thunder plus 5.5 at minus 110. As I mentioned in yesterday's video, I did not think that the Thunder needed the points. I really thought that that they would end up winning outright, and they did. They won pretty big. I know that the announcers, like during the Knicks game, I was listening to it, and I guess that the Knicks in the first quarter, that was the most points that the Knicks have scored in the first quarter in NBA in their whole history. So they ended up breaking a record tonight and still ended up losing to the Thunder. It was an electric game, super high scoring, and I also tweeted about Isaiah Joe for the Thunder. Electric. I love Isaiah Joe. I can't believe he's went under the radar for this long. He's such a hard-working role player, and he was doing everything out there. I tweeted about it too. But he was knocking down his shots. He was playing good defense. He was literally guarding Randall in the post at one point and locked him up. It was absolutely electric. He was playing great defense. He was getting steals. He was guarding the post, like shooting threes and knocking them down efficiently. Isaiah Joe, electric role player to have. So just wanted to put that out there. It was a great game to watch. It was super fun. But that one ended up working out for us. Then we did also have Sabonis, over 18.5 points versus Golden State at minus 110. This one also ended up working out for us. Sabonis was so close to one of the most electric triple-doubles of all time. Seriously, he had like 28, 22, and 8. So he fell just 2 assists short of one of the most fantastic performances in a long time. It would have been super exciting, but ended up with 28. So no doubt about it, no sweat whatsoever. Then we had our added play. We had Karl-Anthony Towns under 8.5 rebounds versus Cleveland. Overall, Jared Allen ends up getting ruled out of this game pretty late. If Jared Allen was in this game, I definitely would take this again 10 times out of 10. But you know, it ended up not working out for us. But 2-1 on the day. We've been ridiculously hot. We had a total of 22 plays on the week, and we cashed in on 16 of them. We were 16-6 on the week. We were absolutely fantastic over the week. So hopefully we can have another good week like that, cashing in a total of 72% of our bets on the week. So, hey, I'll take that any day of the week. It definitely was a great week so far. So let's go ahead and start off this one with a bang, shall we? And without any further ado, our kill shot play of the day. We're taking Mason Plumlee under 8.5 rebounds here versus Orlando at minus 115 odds. Now, if you take a look at Mason Plumlee's game log, he's been crushing this number. He's actually had a lot of double-digit rebound games, but I think that changes in this one. And let me kind of explain why. Recently, they have seen a minutes increase from Nick Richards. Nick Richards is the backup center here for Charlotte, and he's been fantastic. He has been getting... his per 36 numbers are off the charts. He has been playing absolutely fantastic, and I think he is going to dip into even more of these Mason Plumlee minutes. I truly do. He's already seeing close to 20 minutes per game. I think that is only going to creep up from there. I think potentially we could even see a Nick Richards start here in the near future. I think that he is overall just the better center, and he's really starting to show it. So Mason Plumlee, he'd better start hooping out. But overall, he's been hitting this number a lot. But I think that Nick Richards is going to be taking away a couple minutes from them. Not to mention, LaMelo Ball is back in the lineup for the Charlotte Hornets. With that being said, that's another guy that loves to get rebounds, another guy that is going to take some of those rebounds away from a guy like Mason Plumlee. And I think that it's a pretty good spot because Orlando, they allow the 9th fewest rebounds per game to opposing centers. And it totally makes sense because if you take a look at some of the guys for Orlando, they have Bol, obviously a monster player. Like, dude's massive. They also have Wendell Carter Jr., former Bull, great rebounder overall. Franz Wagner is one of those guys. He's just lengthy. He's going to get rebounds. He plays hard, so he's going to be another guy to take away rebounds from a guy like Plumlee. And they just have a lot of length and athleticism on the Orlando Magic team that is going to be taking rebounds from Mason Plumlee. Going to make it very tough for him to be able to get those. And not to mention, Orlando's a pretty slow-paced team in general, 19th in pace. So with that being said, I think a lot of these stats are going to be pointing to the under. I think it's a really good spot here. So we're going to be riding with it for our kill shot play of the day. Mason Plumlee under 8.5 rebounds here versus Orlando at -115. Now for our second play of the day, we're taking another player prop, another new face here to the channel, somebody I have not bet on. We're going with Paul George over 37.5 PRAs here versus Houston at -120 odds. Now, if you look at his last 7 games, Paul George has only hit this over in 4 of them, but there is a key point as to why I love this play. John Wall is going to be out of the lineup. Now, the reason that I love this, with John Wall out, Paul George's PRA logs has been 34, and that was versus the Cavs, one of the best defensive teams by the numbers in the entire NBA, 54 versus Houston, and 52 versus Sacramento in each of his games this year without John Wall. He sees a huge increase in usage rates. He sees a huge increase in shot attempts and assist numbers and rebound numbers. Without John Wall on the floor, Paul George all of his numbers are boosted. Literally every number that he has, they're all boosted up. So I think it's a really good spot here with John Wall out to be taking another shot on a guy like Paul George. Also, the Rockets, they do allow the 4th most points per game to opposing teams. No shocker to anybody, the Rockets are not necessarily a great defense. They are a super young team. They love to get up and down the floor. They give up a lot of points. So it is a very good pace-up spot here for the Clippers as well. And the Rockets, they do allow the 15th most points per game to opposing small forwards, 5th most rebounds per game to opposing small forwards, and the 14th most assists per game to opposing small forwards. So with all that being said, Paul George has a really great matchup here versus Houston, top half in every single statistical category so far, and he's balled out versus Houston here recently. In his last 3 matchups versus Houston, he finished with 37 PRA, so finished right on the hook. 52 and 51. He's been very, very good here versus Houston. I don't really expect that to change. I think it is going to stay the same. They are also only 5-point favorites here versus Houston, and Houston's been a pretty good cover team all year. So I think that Houston does keep it close, and if it's close at all, Paul George is going to see a ton of minutes, a ton of shot attempts. I think it's a really good spot here for Mr. PG-13. So we're going to be riding with it for our second play of the day. Paul George over 37.5 PRAs here versus Houston at -120 odds. Now for our third and final play of the day, we are going to be taking the Phoenix Suns +1.5 here versus Miami at -110 odds. Now the Phoenix Suns, they are coming off an absolutely abysmal 17-point loss here to the Magic, but that's what I love about this, because following a loss, Phoenix is 3-0 against the spread. They're great at bounce back spots, and I think it's a really good spot here versus Miami as well, because Miami has not been playing well. Both these teams haven't really been playing great, but Miami, they are 1-4 against the spread following a win. The win that they did end up having was versus Charlotte, and so following a win, they're 1-4 against the spread. Also, Miami has not been a good home team this year. They are 2-7 against the spread at home this year. Definitely not a great record overall. And the Suns, they have the history in this one. The Suns, they have won and covered, obviously, in 5 of their last 7 games here versus the Heat. So I think it's a really good spot. Both these teams do have some notable injuries. Tyler Hero is going to be out here for the Heat, And Chris Paul is listed as questionable for the Suns. And Tyler Hero could come back in this game. He's also questionable. But regardless, if both these players end up out, I'm going to be taking my odds with the Suns. So hopefully, best case scenario, both these guys are out, or both these guys are in. Hopefully, it's not Tyler Hero's in, Chris Paul's out. That might change my mind just a little bit, but regardless, that's going to be our official play of the day. For our third and final play of the day, Suns plus 1.5 here versus Miami at minus 110 odds. Now, currently, we don't have a whole lot of lines up for the rest of the games. So we only had lines up for about like 4 or 5 games. So if I do end up adding any plays, though, they will be down in the pinned comment section and on my Twitter. So make sure that you guys do check out both those spots. But that's going to do it for me. This is King Center signing out. Peace.